The hiring process in Silicon Valley is just not the same. If you're an outsider, you need to understand the differences and how to attack its weaknesses. When I started applying to Tesla in 2016, I followed the same playbook I used to land my job 10 years earlier. I submitted my resume and waited. I did this a few times and never heard anything. It took me months to realize how broken the hiring process was for outsiders. In this video, I'll explain how it's broken and how you can take advantage of its weaknesses. If you don't understand these constraints, you will be stuck out in the cold. There's an unspoken truth in Silicon Valley that applying online just doesn't work. It's all about who you know. Outsiders don't have a network, so what are you supposed to do about it? Before I share how to handle this, let's talk about how we got here. The manual process for applying for a job with a hard copy resume in an envelope really became digitized, which reduced the friction to applying for a job. The unintended consequence means that the number of positions applicants apply to has skyrocketed. This is especially true for the most attractive brands where they get thousands of applicants for a given job. Recruiters have two options. First, they can manually sort through resumes, or two, they can use screening software to look for keywords, neither of which is very effective. This logically leads recruiters to depend on their own network or that of the hiring teams to filter candidates. To be more explicit, you really land interviews with referrals and not applying online. Since I had applied for a job 10 years ago, the process used to be apply, wait, then get your interview. Now it's network, get a referral, then get your interview. Knowing this is critical because you won't spend months waiting for the phone to ring. You really need to learn the craft of networking. The word may make your palms sweat, it did for me at the beginning, but if you want to land your dream job in Silicon Valley, you need to get outside your comfort zone.
I'm changing my LinkedIn status to looking for work.
The second way the process is broken is that recruiting is decentralized. For big tech, that means that each team has their own recruiter that operates almost independently. As you know, this is not the case for many big companies outside the Valley. When I worked in the oil industry, they had one group responsible for recruiting, maybe for an entire country. If you didn't get past that team, then you just didn't get a job with a company. There was basically one point of entry. Decentralized recruiting creates hundreds of points of entry into a company. If one recruiter doesn't reply, or even you land an interview and fail to get an offer, it's not the end of the world. You can keep trying, keep looking for that role that's a better fit. When folks have the centralized model in mind, they logically give up after their first failed attempt. They don't realize that they may have 100 more shots on goal, but the onus is on you to keep researching roles, networking, and looking for that perfect fit. There's no magic here, just don't give up. It brings to mind the Winston Churchill quote that success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. The decentralized recruiting models lead to this third problem. Interview practices tend to vary a lot between teams. Centralized hiring allows for a small group of people to recruit many candidates in a short period of time. It also allows for training of interviewers and ensures a systematic hiring process. For instance, many oil companies use what they call a behavioral-based interview model, which says that past behavior will predict future success and does so in a systematic way. Don't get me wrong, Silicon Valley interviews are plenty intimidating, especially for outsiders, but this lack of consistency can give you a leg up. My wife Amanda and I use the tools we learned about behavioral-based interviews to help us prepare for our respective interviews at Apple and Tesla. Some people judged our interview binders that were 2-inch thick as overkill, but I believed it helped us stand out from other less prepared candidates. It also helped us adapt to almost any interview structure or question. I'm not sure hiring in Silicon Valley is broken, but maybe a better word is fractured. Once you're aware that such cracks exist, they each offer a path to penetrating the fortress that feels like it's guarding these opportunities. My challenge to you is to start networking consistently and look for those metaphorical cracks. If you want to learn how to get people to reply to your cold messages on LinkedIn, make sure to watch this video right here. And then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.